Hello, my name is DWEEB and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's my opponent to go first, and I have an interesting rack. I've got 3 high-scoring tiles, and I don't have a bingo, but it looks like I'm fairly close. My opponent's played an F, which does go with the F that I have on my rack, but I don't think off spray or off praise is good. Just going to quickly consider the other letters in force to see if I have a bingo. Proof sometimes appears as a suffix. And I'm just looking at the E to see if there's one with that, and I can't see one. I do have the pro prefix on my rack and the for prefix. Well, I may be close, but I can't see a bingo. I'm therefore looking to play off some of my high-scoring tiles. I can actually play off all of them with payoff. I think it's better to play it up here to avoid placing the A next to the double word square, and RS is fine as a leave. I have desorbed through the E of force. What else do I have? This looks a promising rack. I think I probably do have more than one bingo. Just wondering if I have a 7. If I did, it would almost certainly play in column, or it would play in column 9, hooking onto the end of force. That's a good bingo for my opponent. I do have the S for pluralizing pie hole. But I would need to have a 7-letter bingo, and I don't think I have got one. I don't think bodders is good. So I have got, well, I have a slight doubt about this, but desorbed is the play I'm considering for 86 points. Now I think resorbed is good. I have a doubt about desorbed. So is there an alternative bingo which I'm sure about? Desorb. If desorbed was good, then desorbs would be good. And I can't see any anagrams of that, which would help me know if it was good. I think I will try this. If it stays on the board, I've got the Z for score. I do not have a good feeling about this word though. And it's good. Wow. Usually when I have that degree of doubt and that pit in my stomach, it's a prelude to the word coming off. So I'm pleased that it stayed on. I certainly should have known it with greater certainty though, since I think the tiles in the word are fairly high probability. Perhaps the duplicateness of the D and the E drags it down a little bit in the probability tables, but it will certainly be a word that I've studied. But back to my rack. I've got the Z. How can I score with it? I've got the OUS ending. So I would want to play off a U. So I could play ouzo onto the O of desorbed. Well, look at that. My opponent has put an A next to a triple letter square. I've got the Z which can go there, but I don't have a play beginning ZU. What a shame. That would have been a big score. I need to be sure of that. And I am sure there isn't one there. And the other really good hotspot for the Z is at A12. But I can't reach the triple word square at A15 by placing my Z there, which is slightly frustrating. Ouzo only scores 26 points, which is poor. Is there something better? Well, I've got Zonia down here. It doesn't get rid of both U's, but I think I'm unlikely to achieve that. So Zonia for 37 points, that's a far more respectable score, and it obstructs the use of the D in row A. But this is a wide open board, so that's probably not hugely important. Just wondering if there's anywhere else for my Z that I've overlooked. Well, I certainly have to play off one of the U's with my Z, and that restricts the number of available words. I've just noticed I have got zounds. I'd be using my S, so I need to check the score. Zounds in row A, 51 points, so that's an extra 14 points. Yeah, I think that's worth taking. I think it's worth taking. Because row A, row A is not obstructed by Zonia. My opponent could put a high-scoring tile on A12 and go across to the triple. So taking this out is worthwhile, and it scores more. But I don't have a great rack. I've gone back to having two U's, and that has a really depressing effect on your bingo possibilities. But I am going to be able to play my way through this. The tiles on my rack do actually go quite well together. I've got well, guana is the immediate possibility that springs to mind. So guana for 28, which is quite a good score. The UR leave isn't terrible. It would be nice to play off two U's, the G, and one of the A's. But even that would leave me with ANR, which isn't a great leave. And I can't see a way of playing off two U's and the G apart from Guru, which leaves me with the duplicate A. I think UR is going to be better than ANA. And I don't think Guru's going to score as much as Guana. And I draw another U. Well, this will come to an end. There are no more U's in the bag. I'm wondering if Kultur is good. K-U-L-T-U-R. Not sure about that. I know Turk is good. And gosh, I'm in this position again of having a tile which can play at J14 on that triple letter square with the K. And I've got the U to go underneath it, but I don't have a word I can make. Yes, I do. Kuru is good. I'm sure Kuru is good. Let's see what this scores. I may not play it because I think Kuru takes an S, so row N is now hugely hot. But 38 points is pretty good, and if I don't play it, what am I going to play elsewhere? I'm 25 points ahead. If my opponent does take that spot, he's opening up row O, so it's not a terrible move strategically. LRT is not a great leave. But let's see what happens. Great, that's a terrific pickup. I have Militar, not sure if it goes anywhere. The board is quite tight for 7, so if my opponent were to use the Kuru hook, it would be good. And instead he gets a 9 timer with Antigene for 131, so I'm now 70 points behind. And he also uses the second blank. So, do I have a playable bingo with this rack? It's a good set of letters. I'm going to be close to a bingo. This would be a really good time to hit back with one straight after a high scoring play like Antigene. So Militar and I think Limitar is also good. Neither of them can hook Kuru because that only takes an S. I've got the O of Desorbed. And I can't see one through that. I've got the R and C of Force. The C, using the C, it would have to begin with a C. And I can't see one. And the R is not promising because I have an R on my rack. So I'm looking to play off something like MIL and leave myself with AIRT, or even playing male. Well, just looking at Lima down here, but I think this is going to fall short in terms of score. 24 points, that's not particularly good. Let's just put this back on the rack and see if I can score more. ZO takes an L and OI takes an L, but I don't have 2 L's. And there's also the hotspot immediately above ORD. The EH takes an R in front of it. Okay, I can't see a way of using one of my eyes in that spot, so that's not going to be best. There are quite a few pairs of tiles on the board, so there could be a 9-letter word, but I'm weak on my 9s. I have not studied them in depth. Let's see what male scores across here. 27 points. I think that's more than in the previous place. And RIT isn't too bad. Now I've got a balanced rack, but I don't think I have a bingo here. So I'm looking to score. My opponent takes out the Kuru hook, and he's now 80 points ahead. So provided I keep scoring, I'm only one bingo behind. My priority now is playing off the V. So I've got vomit. But I can't see a place for that. Just looking above Vord to see if I can take advantage of the REH hook. Well, it also takes an M in front. Well, there are plays I can make there, but they all retain the V, and there is a V unseen, so it's certainly my priority to play the V. I could play Viol at D12 for only 16 points. The leave of trim is not too bad. There are 4 I's left and only 1 O. So I'd rather keep the O. So where else can I play my V? It would be nice to open up the board a bit as well. But I can't see anywhere to do that, and I am running a little short on time. Certainly don't want to miss a bingo through time pressure. Ah, Bile does retain the O, so that's okay. Well, I have Montero as a 7. Anteroom. I've got Anteroom at A1. Great. Hopefully that will remain unblocked. Do I have an alternative bingo? I'm looking at the R and the C of force. Anteroom has been blocked. Do I have something else? Room rent is not good. Just wondering if there's something beginning con or co. I am only 89 points behind, so one bingo can make would make a big difference. There's only 17 tiles in the bag. I've got a reasonable rack, so I don't have to play off lots of tiles. There's no blank to play for. The S is of limited value. So I could play here. The relief of toner is not bad. There's no O's left, there's only 2 E's. Only 1 N, only 1 R. Okay, there's 3 T's. $27 points. I think that's okay. I've got a Ridgeron through the R of force. What else do I have? Now unfortunately the R and the C of force are the only floaters available, so my opponent is likely to target them. I do at the moment have a ridger on. I don't see anything else. Now, if that's blocked, I could play reinforce at h1, and that would open up the board. It would provide 2 more floaters, and they'd be good floaters in the R and the E. And it would score 39 points. There are 14 tiles in the bag. I'm only 62 points behind at the moment. If my opponent blocks the R of force, it's possible he will sacrifice points in order to do that, so this game is not lost yet. Right, so reinforce I've got. Do I have anything through that D? It looks tempting. The C of force is also not completely blocked. I could have a play beginning CRE or CRO. But I can't see it. I don't think there is a bingo through the D. Certainly be annoying to miss it if there were. So reinforce is good. It opens up bingo lanes and doesn't obstruct any existing ones. I was going to say the bad thing about it is the vowel preponderance it keeps, but look how many vowels are left. There's just an A and 2 I's. So out of 17 tiles, there are only 3 vowels. So my vowel surplus is actually a good thing. And after several promising racks, my rack has now deteriorated. I get a 5-point penalty for that. I'm less than 40 points behind now. And the Q and the V are out there. Very few vowels. So the Q could be a problem tile. I've got scoring tiles in the H's, so I shouldn't be too despondent about not having a bingo on this move. And I can place my H at I7. So I could play CHI for 24 points. Or I could play, well, HEH in row I, but I don't want to retain 2 I's because I still have got 1 eye on getting a bingo. I note that my H can also play at B6. If this is going to be a slow, drawn-out end game, I could get 26 points for that. But playing a CHI would retain an H on my rack, so I would have that playable the following turn. I've only got 2 minutes 49 seconds on my clock. That's good. My opponent has only scored 10 points. CHI is 24. 5 tiles in the bag, so this will leave 3 in the bag. I don't draw the Q. There's only 1 vowel out there, which is the I. I'm only 25 points behind. I've got that 26-point H play at B6. And I've also got, well, I've got Gerao down from at J8, Gherao. 38 points. Wow, that's tempting, and it would keep the I. Okay, my opponent blocks that. He hangs an S out there. So if I play this H off here, and I don't draw the Q, I may have a scoring possibility through the S. However, my opponent is likely to play QIS, which would take that out. But I've still got the R of reinforced to play down from. So, is UH my best play? I've got to only play off one tile. If I play off more than one, I have no bingo prospects because I won't have 7 tiles. I don't have time to see whether I do actually have a bingo with any of the remaining tiles. This scores 26 points at 396. This will take me to within 12 of my opponent, so it may be possible to win without a bingo. So what do I have? I am very short on time. Can't see anything through the R or the N. Okay. So my opponent's got CLST. I can't see where he can play that out in one go. So if I play Gio for 21, 417, I'll be 17 points behind. I can probably go out. Okay, I can play Tear at J1 for 19 points. What else do I have? Okay, I'm looking to see if I've got a second out. Well, I've got Rate and Agio. Not sure if my opponent can block both of those outs. It's probably not enough. Okay. Don't think there's a higher scoring play than this. It's not going to be a winning play. But Tear for 19. Am I missing something better? Can't see it. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game. Which he does. And that was a great game. The final score was 438 to 441. So I lose by just 3 points. I'm slightly puzzled by my opponent's 10-point deduction. It's got 451 minus 10. Maybe that's just a record of challenges during the game because he hasn't gone over time. So 438 to 441. Maybe I did miss a winning play on my last move. We'll find out. Let's see what I missed. Right, this was my opening rack, and there were no bingos, and it looks like payoff was fine. Desorbed was the highest scoring play, but look at that, there were a number of other possibilities. Broddles, disorbed, disrobed, roadbeds, and adsorbed. Well, I certainly should have spotted a number of those, but I'm glad that desorbed was good. Zounds for 51. Argue and guana, very little between those. Kuru and Kutu, well, Kuru's better because it doesn't leave me with duplicates on my rack. Ah, look at that, impartial. That would have been nice. C2 through the P and the A of payoff and guana, and also making bar and Zol. That would have been such a nice play. 97 points, the perfect response to a 9-timer. Well, 9-letter words are tricky to spot, but in this instance it would have made a big difference, I think. Vroom, I didn't think of that. That would have been a good play. I played, well, none of the moves that are on there. I think it was Viol, so yeah, Viol wasn't the best play there. And there were no bingos here. Anteroom was still playable as a non-bingo for 33 points. Whereas I played Renforce for 39. I got 6 more points, but, well, I don't know, there probably isn't a great deal between those options. Oh, I didn't play Renforce, I played Tom. Yeah, I think Tom is fine. Probably similar to the other moves. It scores less, but it's got a much better leave. And this was when I did play Renforce. Oh, look at that. Look at my opponent's rack. What a horror show. H-E-H. That was... well, that was the play I considered, but which retained 2 eyes. So I think I prefer my play. Or I do prefer it, rather. Hare at 8L. Ah, Hare and SH. Yeah. Oh. And look at the scores. I was only 38 points behind at this point. So, yeah, that Hare would have been a good play. That was a bad oversight on my part. It allowed my opponent to play chins. Agio at M2. Well, that wouldn't have been good because my opponent could have then gone out with clats. So that wasn't too bad. And here Tier was the highest scoring play. So the big mistake in that move I think was right towards the end where I didn't play Hare. I think that was probably a winning move, and the other major mistake was overlooking Impartial. So there were errors in that game as always, but I hope you enjoyed watching it. My name is DWEEB and this has been a video for Dweebovision.